Hello everyone, my name is AB Pickle and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Darktide. Today we are talking about another family of weapons, and this time we're going upon one of the most hated lasguns in the game, the Helbore Lucius lasguns here. These are your charge up rifles. These things can pack a punch and also, surprisingly, can be fired in semi-auto and with actually some use. So, starting off, we're talking about the Mark III, the one in my hands right here. This is the one with the slowest charge up with the highest impact. In general, I'm not a huge fan of this thing. It definitely can pack a bit of a punch, but at the end of the day, the thing that really takes it down for me is the fact that its charge up time is in fact so slow. It makes it really specialist heavy, which is great, but if you're going for a specialist build, I don't see it being taken over any of the other specialist weapons like the MG12, the infantry lasgun, or the bolter. So overall, I don't really prefer this thing. Its ammo efficiency is all right. You overall consume 9 per charge shot and 4 per normal shot. You have a decent little range for like clip size and max ammo. Overall, though, it just feels a little awkward. I wish I could put the iron sights from the Mark III though onto any of the other Lucius Helbore lasguns. I prefer this one because it looks like a goalpost with a peg in the middle of it. If you are going for a specialist build and don't want to use one of the main meta weapons in this game, I definitely recommend giving this thing a shot though. You never know, you might find your next love. Moving on, we have the next little bit of the bunch. Okay, so the Mark II lasgun right here, this is my favorite of all the lasguns because if you are a fan of the Infantry 1A lasgun, overall this thing is a better version of it. It does about the same damage if you're just firing it without charging it up. And it also fires a little bit faster than the Infantry 1A lasgun. So overall, it's pretty good for, trying to take out like the shooters that are coming at you specifically, which, as I state in every single one of these videos, is a very important feature because in the higher levels like Heresy and Damnation, those things become quite the problem. When we're going up against our good old Reapers or any unarmored things, because it is a lasgun, so the Carapace armor is a bit doo-doo. But going up against this Reaper here, we'll do our little test. Without charging up, that is what it looks like. So we'll wait for our ability to come back here. Alright, so now we have our ability back and we are looking at our Reaper. The build that I am using is my Volley Fire Forever build, which I will link in the top right. But the charge up damage against the Reaper, only 2 shots when charged up, which is phenomenal. And as you can see, this thing can take out a specialist, and obviously single fire without charging up, you can take down the shooters. You can pretty quickly take out gunners too with 1 or 2 shots. Hounds to 2 shots. Overall, this thing can substitute if you don't have a good infantry 1A. It actually rivals the infantry Mark 12 in my mind. If you do not want to be using it and you want something just to add variety, I definitely recommend this thing. This would be my favorite of all the variants. It is the faster firing, lower damage one, but overall the DPS ends up adding up pretty fast, especially because if you have that slower charge up and slower rate of fire on this thing, it can feel really awkward when you have to deal with a lot of different enemies coming at you. Moving on to the final type, we have the Mark I. The Mark I, in my opinion, is honestly not that great either. It has that middle ground, still pretty slow charge up time, has these weird kind of segmented iron sights that just looks like you're looking down the barrel or something, but they get the job done. Overall, it doesn't do horrible damage. It's kind of like that middle child between the 2 and the 3. But overall, the slower charge time still makes it feel a little bit awkward, especially at higher difficulties when you have to deal with a lot of things. It can be your typical Ogryn killer. At the end of the day, I believe once I use my ability and look at the Ogryn, it only takes 1 charge shot and 1 uncharged shot to take it down. So I think this thing definitely has some potential to be good if you're really efficient with it and you get yourself a good roll. But at the end of the day, I'm not a huge fan of these lasguns in general. but the Mark II is honestly my favorite. It's also important to know that the secondary fire of every single one of these Helbore Lasguns is a bayonet strike. This is what it looks like on the Mark I. It's a slow little charge up. As you can see, it doesn't do the very great of damage. It's just for if they get close and you really just need to take out something like a Poxwalker maybe, because I believe they do kill the Poxwalker in one slice. Yes, they do. But they do have slightly different animations. So if we go over to the Mark II here, I believe this one is also a poke, but a little bit faster of a poke. A little faster of a poke, as it does match the fire rate of the weapon in general. And then the main difference is the Mark III will have once again, a different animation. This time is a little chop. Honestly, my least favorite of all these things, and if you actually are walking through something, you can actually get this thing to glitch and sometimes freak out a little bit. It's kind of funny to watch. But overall, my opinions of these things are okay at best. The Mark II would probably be the one that I would take into maybe Heresy, but I do not think these things have a home at the higher difficulties. Unless you have a specific build designed around one of these things, you're very efficient with them, and you have one with a really good build. But at the end of the day, these Lucius Lasguns would really benefit if we could actually add an attachment to it. I know that's very unlikely, but seeing a scope on one of these things would become really great and make it the most efficient of a sniper weapon in general, because right now we're dealing with the bolter, which I feel like is a very good alternative for a sniper, because why not have instead of having a rocket launcher or a sniper, you could have both. And with the infantry lasguns, you have the Mark 12, which also is definitely taking the place of a good sniper rifle in general, because you do have that red dot sight. But at the end of the day, these things are just patches, and we don't really have an official sniper rifle, and these things are the best thing we got. So if you do enjoy the marksman style play where you are very meticulous with your gun and you like to melee things, make sure you bring a good melee weapon. I like to bring the shovel or the power sword. Recently this shovel here has really grown on me. The defensive capabilities of this thing are really nice, and also it doesn't do that bad of damage. So at the end of the day, bring a good weapon in your melee slot, and make sure you're using that Mark II with a good build for full effectiveness, in my personal opinion. As always, if you differ on my opinion, or if you have a different opinion than my own, please let me know down in the comments below, and I would be more than happy to discuss more about this game in greater detail. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is AP Pickle, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Alright, now that the video is over, I just want to take a quick second to talk about a charity live stream that I'll be doing here in the near future on March 11th and 12th. It'll be a 2-day charity event. So we're going to be playing on the first day. My sibling and I are going to be playing through Lost Planet, racing to see who can get to the end, and you can donate to mess with our runs. So if you really want to mess with us and say, hey, $5, you have to put down your weapon, or you can't jump, or something like that, there will be more rules at the stream, and we'll have those links in my Discord and in many other places, I'm sure. But if you're interested in that, I definitely recommend coming to check it out. And then on the second day, we're going to be playing through Castle Crashers. Instead of going against each other, we will be doing co-op. So if that interests you and you want to help support a good cause, definitely check out the live streams on March 11th and 12th. Exact times when we go live will be decided later. More information will be available in my Discord server, which you can find a link to in the description below. But thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.